Morning, social media family. Just wanted to bring a topic of thought to you this morning as I went to the school, the high school here in Longview, Texas, Pine Tree District, and was supposed to be scheduled for a meeting that ended up being rescheduled. However, what quote unquote triggered my desire to bring this topic to the forefront was the atmosphere that I witnessed as we progressed through the halls of the high school and how it affects currently the workforce as these children matriculate through their education and enter into the workforce. As we were going through the halls, my wife and I, school hadn't yet begun and the bell rung as we were walking through. Consequently, several minutes later, the tardy bell would ring. As the tardy bell rang, I noticed that there were still many of the students meandering through the hallways and out in the yard and mall areas of the high school, many of them with their ear pods in their ear. No sense of urgency, no sense of purpose, but just slowly walking, lazily meandering their way to class. As I witnessed this, I noticed the teachers, the faculty, the staff that had drawn duty to watch over these children as they would go to their respective classrooms did not hurry them along, did not rush them along, did not offer encouragement for them to be timely in their arrival to class. As we walked out of the school, we noticed that there were still parents bringing their children and dropping them off after the tardy bell had already rang. And it really struck me because I have seen this attitude enter into the workforce. And not just into the workforce, but in every aspect of our lives, even into how we view timeliness in the assembling of ourselves for worship, how we view timeliness in dealing with our personal relationships. And so I believe that as parents and as educators, we owe it to our children to do better. They deserve better. I know that many parents push off on the school for them to quote unquote raise their children and offer very little parental instruction and or advice at home without any guidance, without any structure. And I disagree with that. But I also would disagree that it is only the parents' job to raise and structure their children's lives as they spend more time through their formidable and adolescent years in the school system than they do in the home. And so it's a twofold approach, and really more than just a twofold approach throughout their entirety of shaping and nurturing them, but in this regard, parental and educational. And so we must approach it as any relationship is reciprocal. We must approach it together. And so it is our job as parents to ensure that we get our children to school in a timely manner, that we wake them up with plenty of time to get ready and to get there. Therefore, we must be disciplined to get up on time, to make sure that they are ready, to invest in making sure that they are ready on time, and to make sure that we allow ourselves the amount of time to navigate traffic, to account for contingencies in case something were to happen, to get them there in a timely manner. And then our educators must and have to make sure that they're held accountable to be in class on time. If we continue to go down this path to where we hold them to no standard, that there is a complete lack of accountability to be where they need to be at the time they need to be there, then in the next 2 or 3 generations, we will have no workforce. We will have no one that has any sense of accountability, not only to their job, but to their families, to their friends, to their places of worship. This is a very disturbing trend that I witnessed this morning. My kids will tell you, and anyone that has ever worked under my leadership, that early is on time and on time is late. When it's time to begin, whether you're in a meeting, whether you're in a class, whether you're at church, whether you're there for practice, you need to be seated, ready to go with all your materials laid out, geared up when whomever is leading starts. That means at a minimum, you should be there 15 minutes early. I understand in school that because of time constraints, that because they have to have faculty and staff to be there, you cannot be to class 15 minutes early. And when one bell rings to transition to another class, you do not have a 15-minute period. I understand that. But we need to instill a sense of priority and purpose in our children, that they need to be where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. If we continue down this path, the generations to come will not know what it is to redeem the time that they are given.